Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant on The Long Night from Shudder. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Check it out. Kindle Unlimited is free. Now, typical horror movie. Nice couple goes to a house. I'm not sure why they're in the house, but the woman is determined to stay for some reason. I don't know if she inherits the house or whatever. It's not really explained in the trailer, but then they decide to... She feels compelled to spend the night there, and then a weird cult shows up and starts effing with her. And there's some mystical connection. They get inside her head, and slowly but surely they start to invade the house, I guess, and there's imagery with a snake and guys with deer skulls, and eventually she goes out there with a gun, but they make her levitate and possess her, and they keep possessing her and then unpossessing her, and then this guy goes out to fight, and I think they kill him because he's seen like lying on the ground, and it's called The Long Night. And let's see if I can... Okay, let's take a look at the credits here. God, these are hard to read. Why are you going to make the credits so hard to read? Written by Mark Young, directed by... I think that's directed by Robert Shep. Or no, directed by Rich Ragsdale. Written by Mark Young. Oh, that's another written by credit. Written by Robert Shep. And directed by Rich Ragsdale. So, this looks like a low-budget flick. Takes place in one location, the house, the immediate outside, and the rooms inside. I mean, that's how you shoot a low-budget movie. You don't go anywhere else. The 99% of the movie takes place there or in the woods. You got a house in the middle of nowhere you can shoot all day long, and you don't have to worry about neighbors or problems with permits or cops or whatever, and you shoot your movie, and it looks like typical horror movie with a cult, some kind of cult. I don't know, they're based on some kind of burial mound. You can see they go out in the woods and discover things, and it's that kind of movie. It's the culty kind of movie, and cool, I guess. I'm not really connecting with what the cult is. I guess they explain that in the movie. I'd like to know a little more in the trailer, whether it has some sort of historical significance or else it's a made-up cult. The Long Night sounds familiar. I think that's from something. It also makes a difference where this takes place. If this takes place in America versus if it takes place in, say, like England, where druids were a thing. These guys remind me of druids because they got like a bit of a nature bent to them. So, I'd like to know a little bit more about them in the trailer, but yeah, it doesn't look bad. I still, if there's not good explanations for this stuff, I'll be PO'd if I sit down to watch it. But if this is a tight 90 minutes and they have good explanations for the cult and the history behind it, I could get behind this movie. It seems a little lame that she's just like, I feel compelled to stay in the house. That, to me, is not a good enough reason to stay in a house where she stepped on a glass and hurt her foot enough that she's got to put a bandage on and make a big deal about it. Seems to me that you would go to a hospital or go home, and you'd want to be in familiar surroundings if you were injured until you recovered. But I assume they have a slightly better explanation in the movie, like she either inherits the house or she's like, oh no, I want to stay because it'll make it easier for us to buy it or whatever. But yeah, I could see it. I mean, I wish there was just a little more detail. If it was just a little more detail, you'd sell me on it. But I mean, the look's not bad. I like the whole deer skull thing. That's kind of cool. I mean, it could be pretty good. The lead woman is pretty sexy, and she seems to be a good actress. The lead guy, they don't really give much to do here in the trailer, but he seems okay. So it's called The Long Night, out in 2022 from Shudder. So check it out, and that's it for me. We should do the breakdown. Let me do the breakdown. Forgot to do the breakdown. First act, they go to the house. They go to the house. She cuts her foot. She wants to stay for some weird reasons. There's some odd stuff in the house, but she wants to stay. Second act, the cult shows up. Weird stuff starts happening. It escalates. Third act, you get all the supernatural stuff. I think the guy probably is murdered. And then it's her versus the cult. With a Shudder movie, it could go one of two ways. Either she takes over the cult, she loses to the cult, and, it's a very creepy ending, and they're just waiting for the next couple to come in, or she beats the cult and kills them all, or, manages to escape and maybe goes crazy. With a horror movie, it's a little more like, you don't necessarily need a happy ending. You can end it in a very dark way, like, she becomes possessed forever. Blah. Okay, and that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. We'll see you tomorrow.